Was there anything that surprised you in the early days right after being diagnosed?
That I wanted empathy and not sympathy.
What would empathy look like?
Empathy is more like, what can I do? How can I help? I'm sorry you're going through this. This really sucks. And having maybe even a dry sense of humor, saying, yes, they're fake because the real ones tried to kill me. You know, that kind of funny thing. I'm trying to like express what you need. You don't need like escapism from what's happening at the time. You just need to be kind of, okay, that's what's happening there. This is what's happening with me. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I know a certain podcast that might be great to binge when you're there and you need someone to cheer you up and maybe uplift you with your girls. Just saying.
Welcome to Drinks with the Girls. Conversations for women over 40 around connection, change, and the power of female friendship. Living well with stories to tell. I'm Karen, and this is Lisa.
We are moms and solopreneurs stepping into our own, diving into real conversations about things that matter to women in midlife.
We're here to spill the tea on everything that affects women in their 40s and beyond. Topics like loss and grief, changing relationships, launching kids, menopause, and reinventing ourselves in midlife. We are here to tackle it all.
Connect with us through a blend of our lived experiences, our friendship, the memory of our moms, plus a collection of real stories, honest conversations, and engaging interviews that will make women over 40 feel seen and remind them that they're not alone on this journey called life. Let's go.
Welcome back to another episode of Drinks with the Girls. And this being October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we are bringing you episodes that we know you're going to walk away from with some juicy nuggets. So before we get into it, I'm going to let you know I'm drinking something new tonight, and I'm not sure how it's going to go, but I'm drinking a sparkling energy drink by Bloom. It's a cute little can, and I buy my drinks the way I buy my wine.
Which way? Other way. Interesting. Let me guess. You looked at the label and we're like, that's cute.
Exactly. That's how I buy my wine too. So, but it says it's natural energy. So, and it looks like the natural energy comes from green tea leaves. So there's some other good stuff in there, probiotics and ginseng and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
What are you drinking, babes?
I am trying something new as well. This is a Rambler sparkling water blackberry. It allegedly has a limestone mineral blend in it. Apparently gives you advanced electrolytes, or sorry, not advanced, enhanced electrolytes. I can't read it either. So yeah, we'll see. So Rambler, hit us up with an affiliate. So I would love to introduce my childhood friend, Amy Bergant, because this is another Facebook story, right? Like she was on Facebook and posted this picture of all of us around her pool in like 5th grade. Before we got on, there was some debate about whether we went to middle school together. And I think we've ascertained that we did, but neither of us have any recollection of it whatsoever. So that's just how this is going to roll. So Amy, tell us a little bit about you and what you're drinking.
Oh, well, my name is Amy Bergant. I live in Redondo Beach, and I have twin 16-year-old daughters, and they're amazing. Married happily since 1999. I am a writer and a proud USC Trojan. And I'm drinking a vodka soda out of...
See, other way. Other way. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so for listeners that are just like that are on YouTube, I should say, the ones that are just listening to us are probably like, what are they doing? She's drinking it in an Admiral Risty glass, which is this famous restaurant where we grew up, not very far from where we lived, and it was like a freaking institution.
Yep.
And now it's a bank, apparently. So
yeah,
I'm just
so sad.
I'm impressed that you still have the glass and it's in one piece.
Oh, I have 4.
Damn. That's impressive.
Well, I think I bribed the bartender.
Oh, well, there you go. I mean, that's how you get quality merch these days.
That's right.
So,
I just have to ask, do you have any limes in that vodka soda?
I do not. I do not. I should have put a little bit of lemon. I like my lemon.
Yes, that's pretty fierce. That's a fierce drink. Like without lime or lemon, I'm impressed.
I'm feeling like I need to step up my game a little bit here. Like we've been on this kind of like sparkling water, happy kick, but maybe we need to go back to.
Oh, I just bought some. I just bought some weird thing at Whole Foods, like a elixir, like a tonic or a tincture, and it was disgusting.
Okay,
and so I was like, okay, gotta do the cleanse.
Let's not call that name out on the podcast.
I love though how you were trying to do that, go the healthy route, get some healthy, and then you're like, okay, no, this isn't working. Let me grab the vodka soda.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, no, upgrade. Just the only thing sometimes to get that taste out of your mouth, Just
It reminds me that I like vodka soda. So anyway,
that's kind of where I'm at right now. So we're not talking about old restaurants. Neither are we talking about elixirs, and frankly, neither are we talking about vodka tonics. As Karen said, we are talking about breast cancer awareness because it's October. And so we've kind of gone on this path. It just kind of found us of doing some episodes around that topic in October for you, our listeners, to learn something. So we just had, as you know, Dr. Cole Morgan on, and she was incredible. And we really have been wanting for a while to do an interview with someone who's a survivor and can share with our listeners, that journey and hopefully drop some wonderful nuggets for people that have either gone through it or are about to go through it. So let's get into it.
So I have breast cancer in my family. My mom had breast cancer. My sister just finished her treatment for breast cancer. I have several friends that have gone through it. And I always try to put myself in your position or the position when you hear those words. When you're sitting, I don't know if you're sitting in the doctor's office or you hear it on the phone, but can you take us back to the first moment when you heard those words, you have breast cancer?
Well, I remember being told before I was diagnosed that if you go one way in the office, it's good news. If you go the other way in the office, it's bad
That's
news.
horrible. Are you kidding me with this?
Mm-hmm.
That's awful.
But, I have to be honest, I was kind of appreciative that the people were so honest with me because I knew.
Yeah,
I knew. So when they brought me and my husband into the room and my oncologist, who became my oncologist, came in, we knew. The radiologist who had done my initial ultrasound had been doing it for 30 years. And she said, Amy, I'm not going to lie to you. This looks like a cancerous tumor. And I was seriously, I don't know, maybe because I'm from a medical background. My dad is a doctor, my mom's a nurse. I am not, a medical person, but I just like to be told that stuff up front. I don't want it sugar-coated. So I wanted to be told, yes, this is cancer. But we knew when we were being led in that one direction that's what was going to happen. But my kids at the time, I have twin girls, they were 3 going into preschool.
Oh, that's a lot.
So it was rough. I'm thinking, what do we do? So that was my initial thought was, where do we go from here and how do we fix it?
So set the scene a little bit. So this was 13 years ago?
This was 13 years ago. This was July 12th, 2012. And I felt a lump about a month prior. And I went in for all kinds of tests and they finally did a biopsy. And that's when the radiologist said that she thought that it was cancer. So I go and I have the biopsy. Then they say, okay, well, we're going to have the actual results on a certain day. And so that's when I was called back in. And that's when the oncologist came in and said, yes, it is cancer. It's like stage 1. They called it 1B instead of 1A. So it was very small, but because it was on the very outside of my breast, I could feel it, which I guess is sort of fortunate in a way. So then he referred me to a surgeon, a plastic surgeon, counseling, because you have to figure out what you're going to do physically, mentally, surgically, all of that. So that's where it started.
Yeah. And I mean, like, as women, I your comment about like, okay, how are we going to manage all this? Right. That's what we do. Right. It's like, okay, how do I roll in this new paradigm, taking care of all my people?
Yeah, exactly. Luckily at the time, my parents were still very active, and my husband's parents were still very active. They're about an hour's drive away, and I have a very good support system. So I knew that it would be okay, but I didn't know how my children would understand because they were only 3.
Yeah, that's young to have to wrap their heads around that. How did you guys choose to handle it with them in terms of what you said to them?
Of all things, I bought a book on Amazon that said Mommy has cancer. And I just wanted to, like I said, I come from a medical family. I wanted to be told, just this is how you deal with it. And it wasn't sugar coated, but it wasn't like, oh, I could potentially.
Yeah. 3-year-old appropriate.
Yeah. So it was good. And then, we would play them songs, like Melissa Etheridge has a song called I Run for Life. And so I remember my girls, when they were down for their nap, they were singing something. And I came in and I go, what are you singing? And they go, oh, we're singing the cancer song. So they were very aware, but if you ask them now, they don't remember anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is incredible.
Remember stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Was there anything that surprised you, like in the early days right after being diagnosed?
That I wanted empathy and not sympathy.
Yep.
I could not stand the, oh, you poor dear. Oh,
my mom said the same thing when she was diagnosed. She's just like, all these people are just like, she goes, it drives me crazy. It makes me crazy.
Thank you. Yeah.
So for you, what would empathy look like? So just so people, in case they're wondering, well, what's the difference between sympathy and empathy?
Empathy is more like, what can I do? How can I help? I'm sorry you're going through this. This really sucks. And having maybe even a dry sense of humor, saying, oh my God, my what was it? Yes, they're fake because the real ones tried to kill me. That kind of funny thing. I because that's just how I handle most things in my life. I don't wallow in misery. I want to move forward and figure out how to fix things. But that's me.
One of my good friends, similarly, she chose to have a double mastectomy when she got diagnosed. And her main coping mechanism was watching stand-up comedians or watching, anything that was going to make her laugh, because that was, that she's like, you know what? I'm going to laugh. I'm not going to let this drag me down.
Well,
absolutely.
Dr. Cole Morgan backed that up. I remember she said, like, we asked her for like her 3 top tips, and she's like, it's so much about your outlook and so much about like how you're feeling about yourself. And she really made the connection with a breast being essentially a gland that is responsive. And I was like, I had never thought about it that way.
Okay, quick pause. Have we talked about the Pod Squad lately?
Oh, the Pod Squad. You mean our email list /VIP lounge /digital wine club?
Exactly. So listeners, if you're not on it yet, you're basically making life harder for yourself when it comes to podcasts.
Like trying to scroll for show notes while speed walking on a treadmill. Wait, what was that link again? Oh, no. Grab the side rails.
Or pulling up that book we mentioned while you're in the Starbucks line and then realizing everybody else moved up 3 cars and now you're that woman.
We've all been there. That's why we made the Pod Squad. You'll get new episode alerts every week with direct links. Easy to listen, easy to share.
And show notes straight to your inbox. So when we drop a life-changing product, book, hot tip, or yummy new drink, you're not rummaging through your memory like a woman searching for her reading glasses when they're on top of her head.
It's organized, it's helpful, it's for you, babes.
So join the Pod Squad. The link is in the show notes. Just tap it.
Snacks, sarcasm, solidarity.
And obviously, fighting the patriarchy.
We write at dawn.
So were there like early signs that you, I mean, it sounds like you were on it just in terms of self-exams and all that, but were there things that you, looking back, you're like, oh, I should have paid more attention to that?
Okay, well, first off, I should go back to 1986 when my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, bilateral breast cancer. She had lumpectomies on both sides. I was going off to college and she's going through chemo and radiation, and here I am having this wonderful time at school, but she would drive up to Hollywood. I was going to USC, and she would drive up to Hollywood, pick me up, and we would go to the hospital and get her radiation, because that's the only place that Kaiser offered it at the time. And it was just the weirdest bonding moments that we would have, because here I am, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a sorority girl, and I'm partying, and then I have to hop in the car with my mom who has breast cancer. So that was kind of an early indicator. Then she went and was tested for the BRCA gene, and it was negative. Okay. So I thought, okay, maybe I've, skirted this. And then I found the lump and all of that. Well, as it turns out that my oncologist had I was tested, and then I came back positive for the BRCA gene. He had her retested, and she came back positive because the tests have become so refined. So It's kind of crazy to think that had she tested positive early on, I may have had just a prophylactic double mastectomy just to never have to worry about it. Mm-hmm. But we didn't know.
Yeah, the science has changed so much. So
much.
That obviously affects your girls. Like, what age do they recommend when you have that gene to be tested?
About 30. Okay. But Lisa, my brother, and he has 2 girls, and they're both BRCA negative.
Interesting.
So yeah. So it's amazing. I mean, genetics are just
that's a whole other. Yeah.
I'm a little nervous now because my mom passed away from breast cancer. Her grandmother and great grandmother on her dad's side and her 2 aunts had breast cancer. So we both got tested probably, maybe, I don't know, 8 years ago, and we were both negative. But now I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to take her back in there and get her tested again.
Well, just to be sure. I mean, you never know. You never know. But this was right around the time that I was diagnosed. So I think they've refined the tests. But it was just crazy that I totally blew it off. I said, oh no, I'm not going to be. I'm not. If she's negative, I'm going to be negative. But clearly not.
So let's look on the other side of the coin. Did the experience bring any unexpected gifts or awakenings or blessings that, you may not have had otherwise?
100%. I've always been a positive person, but I think it actually made me even more positive to look at the things that you have and versus the things that you don't have. Also, my husband has a very good friend that he's known since college, and she lives on the East Coast, and she's had some medical issues, and she made sure that she got a letter or card writing campaign for me, just to send me words of encouragement every single day. So these women that I never knew, who, and I still don't know, who live in, Westport, Connecticut, are every day I came home to a new word of encouragement. It was incredible. And then, she's very special. And then when, because my girls were starting preschool, getting to know some of those moms, I remember they all kind of oddly knew what to say. I don't know. Maybe they've all been through their stuff. And then when I was first diagnosed, I sent a letter to the preschool director, and I just was informing her of what was going on. She called me, and was so, like I was saying, empathetic. She was saying, what can we do to make your life better? What can we do to make the girl's life better? So I was surprised at the acts of kindness that came out of it, and just the people that rally around you.
Well, and I think the difference between sympathy and empathy is sympathy is treating someone like a victim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Empathy is holding their hand and going through it with them. Like, to me, that's a huge
100%.
difference, you know?
Oh my gosh, 100%.
So,
And I feel like sympathy also is like it's coming from a place of, or maybe it keeps you in this place of inaction, or just kind of like oh,
this.
you poor thing, instead of
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
what the fuck, what are we
Yes.
going to
I'm
do
like,
about this? Let's do it.
I'm not sitting here all
Yeah.
by myself. I have choices. I have rights. I can do, I made the choice to do the double mastectomy. I made the choice to do all of this. So yeah, 100%.
It's like when people find out I have 2 kids with autism and they go, well, God gave them the mom that they needed. And I just want to throat punch people, because it's like, okay, did you just like pat yourself on the back there and like you dodged a bullet? Okay, so you're just going to say, oh, you're so strong, you're such a warrior. It's like, that doesn't feel good to me.
No.
At all. Anywho, so it sounds like you did have some big like personal shifts just in terms of kind of how you saw yourself. Was there other like identity pieces that shifted during this journey?
Well, I mean, obviously to get, honest, with a double mastectomy, you lose parts of your breasts, and that's hard. It's really hard. I was asked if I wanted to do reconstruction, including everything. And I thought, well, you know what? If the outcome is that I don't ever have to wear a bra again, why do I want to have nipples?
Nice.
I'm like, seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, why? Why would you do? So that is a little strange to look in the mirror. And I know that my girls, when they were younger, they would see me in the mirror. It's odd. And it was very painful.
I bet.
Oh, I mean, worse than a C-section, worse than everything. Yep. But I think I made the right choices for myself.
Yeah. I mean, just the worry, I mean,
yes,
I'm sure that was a lot of it, but I hear you on the pain. Like, I had a reduction, and I swear to God, I'd go through childbirth again. It was,
yep.
Whew.
Oh no, it's bad. I mean, because everything hurts, everything, because you don't realize how much, it's like your rib cage, your back, your shoulders, everything is affected.
Yeah, for sure.
When my mom had cancer, I was a young woman. I was in my mid-20s. And I just remember all the emotions that went through me. And one of the ones that surprised me a lot was anger. Like I was angry, and it unfortunately it came out directed at her. Like she's sitting on the couch, and I'm like, I'm just so angry, that she can't get off the couch because she's so exhausted. What were some of the emotions that you went through, like some of the hard emotions, and how did you really, navigate all that?
I was never angry. I felt defeated occasionally. After I went through 6 rounds of chemo. After my 3rd round, I remember telling my husband, I was waking up the next day afterwards saying, I can't do this anymore. I just can't. I mean, it was so awful and painful, and it just, like I said, I felt defeated. But he said, you know what, give it one more day and see how you feel. And then I always came out of the chemo fog, and I was okay. So I wasn't anger. I was defeated, and well, I mean, sad. And I also, because I had drains put in, I felt very tethered to my house, and in the beginning. And so I felt, even though I'm a social person, but I don't think I'm a really outgoing person. I felt like, oh my God, I'm just stuck here. Or if I have to go out, I have to put these stupid drains in a bag. And it just was, I think frustrated is probably the best term.
Because you're literally tethered to things. Like it's
That's exactly it. That's exactly
I mean,
what
when
I
I
said.
had my reduction, which is obviously nowhere near what you were dealing with, but it was just like,
Yeah.
I felt like crap, but also
Yes.
you just like, you don't even want to move because you're just in pain and it's this whole
Yep.
big thing to do it. And it's just, it makes you
Yes.
feel even more just like isolated and just,
Yep.
yeah.
100%.
I'm wondering, and this sounds like a weird question. So if it is,
Goody.
let me know. Let me know. But you know, our breasts as women are so kind of tied to being women, motherhood, if you breastfed, or just our femininity, or even our sexuality. Did you go through any grieving or anything like that for the breasts that you lost?
Okay, so this is the first time I've ever talked about this. When I was getting ready for my mastectomy, and my plastic surgeon came in, and I love her, but she's never gone through this. So I told her, as she's marking up my nipples and doing all this, and I said goodbye to my nipples this morning. And she didn't even laugh.
Oh, that was a good joke. I like that.
Bye-bye.
No, I remember my husband looking at me because my surgeon got out, I swear to God, like 4 different colors of Sharpies. And I was like, and he's like drawing away and I'm just sitting there like exposed. It's like, I was like,
I know.
Do I want to know what the green line's for? Oh God, what does the red line mean? And he's just coloring away. They're just like focus. And I just looked at my husband like, this is the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me.
Well, your husband was there. I was there by myself. And she seriously looked at me like she went, I mean, she's brilliant. And I actually very much like her, but she was just like, because I think she was so focused, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but to tell you the truth, I never breastfed my kids. So except for, sexuality, it was never something that I thought about that I was losing or missing. And as I said, now that I don't have to wear a bra ever again,
you're like, whoop.
I don't miss them. I really don't. I have a friend that went through full reconstruction, like the I don't know if you guys know about it's a procedure called the deep flap, where they take parts of your abdomen and fat and blood vessels and they reconstruct breasts instead of implants. And she was, recovering for 12 weeks. And then she went on to have the whole shebang. And I thought,
wow.
Is it worth it? I don't know. I mean, it is for some people, and I don't judge. So, it just wasn't for me.
Hey there, I'm Lisa Coricella McDowell, your midlife Pacific Northwest princess, here to guide you in the art of next leveling your life. I'm passionate about women's health and wellness in midlife, especially for moms parenting kids with unique needs like I do. I truly believe we can learn, grow, advocate, and care for the planet while taking care of ourselves and our families. And I'd love to help you do the same. And I'm beyond excited to tell you about my membership for maxed out mamas just like me, the Empowered Parent Collective. It's a space for parents to confidently advocate for their kids, build inclusive communities, educate themselves, and find balance and support along the way. To find out more about the Empowered Parent Collective, my classes, wellness offerings, parenting tips, advocacy resources, and exclusive Drinks with the Girls goodies, head to nextlevellifewithlisa.com. Let's survive and thrive in the messy middle together.
You've talked a little bit about kind of the impact on your girls and, kind of the impact on you when your mom had it. How was it for your spouse? I mean, I'm sure it was terrifying for him to go through that.
He was scared to death, I'm sure, but he's one of those people that doesn't show it. He will show it in other ways by doing stuff around the house. He will, it goes back to the empathy versus sympathy, where he's going to pump me up. He's not going to pity me. and say, oh, you poor dear, why don't you rest? No, he'll just say, hey, sleep in. I'm going to take the girls down to the park.
Yeah.
That's how it's been with us. Always.
And that's why you married him.
Exactly.
Well, I'm sure there were some other reasons too, but not podcast
Well,
appropriate.
he's cute and he has a weird last name. So,
What's not to love?
And I think that is, it seems like that would be a way that men kind of deal with things. It's okay. Let me do something. Let me do some things I feel like I'm helping you do things to, because I could imagine you feel so out of control. I don't know how you would
have to be
feel
the fixer.
any more out of control. Yeah. The fixer. Yeah. Let me fix something.
No.
Yeah. Did you ever feel, because I remember when my mom had cancer and I was trying to learn all I could and read the books and, do the things, because I'd never experienced anybody that had cancer before. So it was new for our family. And, they talked a lot about your mental, how your mental outlook and staying positive was really important, which I think is definitely true. And Dr. Cole-Morgan touched on that. But I think also there, and I don't know if it was toxic positivity or something, maybe that would be the label now, but it's almost like, oh my gosh, Mom, if you're not thinking positively, you're going to die. It's your fault. Like if something happens to you, it's because you weren't positive enough. Did you ever feel like you had to kind of suppress your real feelings because you're like, oh my God, I have to, my brain has to stay in positivity?
No, never.
That's good. That's good.
So you were just able to just feel what you felt and it sounds like you mainly were just stayed in this positive space anyway. So it didn't sound like it was like an effort.
I did because I knew that it was something that I could beat. If it had been something, I had a very dear friend who passed away from glioblastoma. And she was diagnosed before I was diagnosed, but then we kind of went through the same thing together. And she was calling me from Texas. She was a sorority sister. And with her, her thick Dallas accent, she's calling me after having gone through chemo and leaving a message. I still have her messages, even though she's passed away. I still have her messages on my phone saying, oh, Amy, really wanted to talk to you, but I'm sure you're at church. Ha, ha, ha. Just with this, like the funny sense of humor. But here she is going through something absolutely life-threatening that it put things in perspective where I'm like, I'm not going to complain about chemo and I'm not going to, she wanted to come out and take care of my girls.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I
just puts it in perspective. Now, excuse my ignorance, but what is glioblastoma? I mean, obviously it's a type of cancer, but
it's a tumor in the brain is what John McCain passed away from. And it's hideous and it grows very quickly. And she was one of the wittiest people I've ever known, funniest, caring, everything, just kind of one of those larger than life people. Yeah.
It's hard.
And I'm still friends. I'm friends with her two sons. She left two sons, and I won't say her name, but every time we sign off on text to each other, it's a hashtag of what would she do?
Oh,
she was, that's just who she was. She was going to come out and help me during chemo while she was going through chemo.
That's incredible.
So, yeah.
Oh, this disease. I want to throat punch it.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. To turn to a little bit more of the practical. What would you say to someone that is going through this? And I'm not talking we'll get to the emotional piece, but I'm talking practicality, any advice for what to bring with you when you're in chemo, things to do for, you know what I mean? I'm talking the practical kind of stuff, not the positive attitude. We'll we've touched on that and we'll talk about more of that stuff, but.
Oh, 100%. Chemo is going to throw your body into a whole bunch of crappy things. You're going to have hot flashes, and then you're going to be freezing cold, and then your feet are going to be cold, and then they're going to be hot. So for chemo, a very good neck pillow, excellent streaming or music or fantastic books that will take you away from anything that's you're going through, because you're hooked up to this poison. I mean, virtually poison in your arm. I ended up having a PICC line put in because my veins went to shit. Just anything that's going to make you feel comfortable, and don't buy into the wig thing. That this is my opinion. They're so hot and they're so uncomfortable, and they make you look like a false sense of who you are. Just wear whatever makes you happy. That is one thing I really have to hammer home. The other thing that I think maybe people could get for their friends are like a shawl almost, so you can throw it on when you're cold and throw it off when you're hot. Ginger chews, of all things, really help with the nausea. And you just, I'm trying to express what you need. You don't need escapism from what's happening at the time. You just need to be kind of, okay, that's what's happening there. This is what's happening with me. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I know a certain podcast that might be great to binge when you're there and you need someone to cheer you up and maybe uplift you with your girls. Just saying.
Yep, that's right. It would have been amazing. But we didn't have podcasts back then.
Yeah.
I was, I'm sitting in the chemo room at Cancer Care Associates listening about the Sandy Hook thing.
Jesus, Mary, Mother.
I know. So I'm like, okay, this is not happening.
Oh.
So I flipped to, I was reading Bossy Pants by Tina Fey.
There you go.
So, better. Yeah. Way better.
Yeah. Or anything by David Sedaris.
I love him. I mean, and I don't know if I agree with the escapist characterization. Like, how much can one take? Okay. Like, I mean, give yourself a break. I shouldn't say that with the times we're living in now, but that's a whole thing. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. So you talked a little bit about the hair loss and your opinions about that. Any other just practical bits of advice that you would give people?
If you're going through chemo and you're going to lose your hair, shave it off.
Okay.
Just do it, because it's depressing feeling it go clump by clump by clump. Okay. Own it. Wear something that makes you happy. I shaved my head. My husband took my girls to the park and I shaved my head to India Ari's I Am Not My Hair.
Nice.
And it felt very empowering, and it felt freeing. And you get to save on shampoo and conditioner for a
bonus.
Very long time.
But that's a good point, though. I like that idea of no, I'm in charge. Mm-hmm. I'm in charge of when I lose my hair. You're not in charge of when I lose my hair. No, thank you.
No, I was not going to let that happen. And I was also very open about walking around without my wig or cap or whatever I had going. So much so that my girls even called my wig the pretend hair. So it was
that's interesting.
Yeah. I just wasn't gonna, I just never hid anything from them.
My sister felt the same way. She had these cute wigs, couple of them, and then she would put them on and she's like, I look like my mom. She's like, I don't feel like me. And I never saw her actually wear them out. She would, wear beanies, hats, or nothing, and she just felt better that way. She just felt more authentic.
Yep. Yeah. It's all about who you are. Silk just feels really nice up against the bald head. But I 100% agree.
Yeah, I remember my mom got a wig and she had a pretty good one. I mean, it was pretty close to what she naturally looked like. And I respected that, but I could always tell when she was wearing it. And
of course
I was conscious of not making any kind of comments about her appearance, good, bad, or indifferent, because I don't know. it's strange. Anyways,
I'm just having this flash. So my mom was near the end of her battle when I got married. And
Okay.
so she was at my wedding. I can't even believe she was there. Such a blessing. But she had a wig on. And of course, she was so thin and she's in a wheelchair. And it's like the only thing that looked like her were her eyes.
Oh.
And sorry.
no, babe,
Oh.
you do you. I remember those pictures.
Oh God, I just it's like she ended up dying 6 days after I got married. And I just,
I'm so sorry.
looking at her and thinking about her in that wig, it's like, it's like that wasn't her. But then I could look in her eyes and I could say, there she is,
Yeah.
But whoo, sorry, that wig thing that got me. For the people that are supporting somebody going through this, what would you say, like, what helped you the most? Like, if somebody wants to do something and they want to, care for you or support you, what would you say helped you the most that you appreciated?
I think it came down to people not asking if they wanted to do something for you. They were just going to tell you, hey, we're bringing over dinner this night. And if this night doesn't work, what does? I had a bunch of former coworkers at the time. They said, hey, we're going to arrange for a cleaning crew to deep clean your house.
Wow.
It was never anything that they would never ask me, because they never wanted to put it on me. They just said, we're going to do this for you. You tell us when we can do it. And I truly believe that's probably one of the most helpful things in the whole wide world. My former boss brought me and Steve, well, the girls didn't eat anything. They still don't eat anything besides chicken nuggets and pasta.
Hello.
Yeah. She brought us, a full meal with wine. And she goes, I don't know, with chemo, I don't know if you're going to want this, but it was just sort of these acts of kindness that you could accept or turn down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think too, you have so much going on in your own brain. Like and you're trying to still keep your household functioning and you taking care of your girls and so, the last thing you need is another question or another decision.
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
a bunch of flowers or like,
aren't flowers always good?
Well,
I don't
they
know.
are, but I vote. I mean, cleaning, meals, like hello. That's the gift that keeps on giving.
Well, yes,
in my
for
opinion.
sure.
So much more. I mean,
how to make somebody's life easier? Yes, absolutely. But
exactly. Yeah.
I'm never going to shut the door on flowers. I'm sorry.
No, I wouldn't shut the door, but
But they have to be really pretty.
They have to be really good.
Don't give me the carnations and baby's breath. Don't even try it.
Yeah. Don't stop at the drugstore on the way home. No.
Or Conroy's. Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
My name is Karen Shatafian, and I am a shameless coffee addict and empowerment coach for women, and my love language is authenticity. My mission is helping women unapologetically design a life they're in love with. Because what the hell are we waiting for? My website, KarenShatafian.com, has all my coaching packages and free offers like my midlife reclamation guide. In it, you'll find tools to help you decide how to create the most inspired and empowered version of yourself and your life. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram talking about ways women can show up for themselves after decades of showing up for everyone else. Join me as we throw off the shackles and live our best freaking lives. See the show notes for all the details. Cheers.
I truly believe in self-advocacy, self-awareness. I had an ultrasound probably 7-8 years before my cancer diagnosis.
Okay.
And they said it was nothing. I kind of knew it was something. They said, well, it was an ultrasound. And they said, oh, it's probably nothing.
But the same spot that ended up turning into cancer?
It was on the same breast.
Oh, yikes.
So, different medical group. I don't know for sure, but speak up. Just, speak up if you think something is going on with your body, you know it. When was it? April, we were in Lake Tahoe, and I was feeling really short of breath, and I'm thinking, oh, it's just the elevation, because I couldn't hike, and I love to hike with my girls and go horseback riding and ski and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? And in May, I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure.
Oh, my Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay, it has a happy ending.
Oh, good.
But because of all the, I was hospitalized for, like 5 days but put on all kinds of meds. And I've had now an MRI, an EKG, everything. And everything is within normal limits. But what they think it was the chemo. So yeah, the chemo and the radiation, because it was my left breast, and so it was over, where your heart is, and so they now have a specialized practice called I'm trying to remember what it was called, radiation cardiology.
Interesting.
So it's a thing. Like, are there studies? I mean, probably not, because it has to do with a woman's body, but we won't go there.
Yeah,
but like,
exactly.
So are there studies that correlate the chemo and radiation with like congestive heart failure?
Oh, wow.
Yes, it affects the heart muscles and everything. But luckily, I'm okay now. But I mean, that's scary as shit, right? Sorry.
Oh my gosh! And I just have to ask. No, don't you please cuss in all the ways.
Girl. Oh yeah.
Did you ever, especially after being diagnosed, with, having your heart issues, did you ever go, what the fuck? Why? Like, either when you got diagnosed with your breast cancer, or even, after this, was there ever a moment, because this is where my brain goes, I'd be like, what now? Why is this happening?
I remember texting one of my friends saying, you can't even make this shit up.
Thank goodness you have such a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just.
Yeah. What else are you going to do, right? What's the option?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just never going to be one of those people that just like wallows.
Yeah. I'm with you there for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I talk a lot in my work with women that I work with about reclamation and reclaiming parts of ourselves, reclaiming things that we've buried, reclaiming our dreams, reclaiming our sexuality, whatever, as we get into midlife. So was there anything that you felt like you were able to reclaim after your cancer journey? Like just your femininity, sexuality, just your identity?
To be honest, really, no. The reclaiming has come like in the last 3 or 4 years when I've started to write again, because I think I gave all of my time to my kids. And so now that they're, of driving age and all of that, I find that I'm reclaiming it now, not right after breast cancer.
Yeah, because I mean, you were in the thick of raising littles and dealing with that at the same time. I mean, that's a double whammy.
It sucked.
Do you think that would have happened organically because now you have more time to focus on you? Or was it magnified because of cancer maybe? Because you're like,
no, 100%. I think it would have happened normally, because I was given an opportunity to write an article, and then all of a sudden, just things kind of blossomed from there.
Did you write it all for yourself when you were going through that? Either journaling or
it's so weird. I started a journal and then I never finished, because again, I didn't want to like wallow, because I'm thinking about the kid that, in 6th grade when I was in love with, blah, blah, blah at Margate. Right. And I would write about so-and-so, and I, where you would want to write, or you would want to reread that. I didn't want to reread it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Middle school was a nightmare for me. I wouldn't want to memorialize any of it. So I totally get it.
I still can't believe that we weren't even like on the same plane.
That is
there.
crazy to me, because I just remember wandering around there feeling so alone. And it's just like, what? It's insane to me that I would not have plugged into the fact that you were there. Because literally, I was just so depressed. Like,
I think we just all
crazy.
felt like we were spinning.
Yeah,
like none
think
of
so
us
too.
were really at home at
well,
that time.
and that elementary school was really tiny and really homey, and everybody kind of knew each other.
And mean.
And I mean, Margate was not warm and welcoming, and at all. Anyways, that's a whole other episode, the hell that was middle school, which we
I think all middle schools are mean. Like,
I know. It's just
does anybody get out of middle school unscathed?
Ugh.
Like,
and if you do, you have peaked.
Thank you. Thank you. You have used up your peak karma for the rest of your damn life.
Yeah, or you were the bully.
Exactly.
That's right.
So you're mean anyway. So there you go.
Yeah.
So what is one thing, like if there is a woman listening to this podcast and she just heard the news that she got diagnosed with breast cancer, what is one thing you would want her to know today?
Be your own advocate. Always speak up. Always question. Always get a second opinion if you feel that it's wrong. Do your research, but don't go on Google, because then you're going to think you're going to die. Just be your own advocate. I think that's the only thing that I can say, because you get all this outside noise from other people, like, oh, my mother-in-law would come over and, give me like this stupid fuzzy hat that she knitted for me, that she made one for her friend Sally, who died of breast cancer.
Jesus.
And I'm like, how is this helping? It's not helping. Okay.
Oh, mother-in-laws.
So you just have to be your own self-advocate and say, you know what, this is not right for me. Although I did put the hat on, and then once I walked out the house, I put on my own scarf, but that's a whole different thing. But be your own self-advocate. Get a second opinion if you feel that you're not comfortable with it, and ask so many questions that you annoy the shit out of the doctor.
I love that. Well, and I have to believe that you go through, again, this hasn't happened to me, so I can't say this, but I would imagine there's a lot of feeling like your body has betrayed you. And like you can't trust that anymore. And I would imagine that being a forceful advocate for yourself and saying, well, no, I'm feeling this, or this is what's going on, I would think would reclaim some of that power a bit and have you feel like the hair, right? Like, no, you don't get to decide. Sorry.
Yep. 100%.
Has your cancer diagnosis, did it change anything about the way you live day to day now? Like, are there changes that you made in your life that you wouldn't have done because of cancer?
I try to do meatless Mondays. Okay. But that's about it. I made a really good garbanzo bean salad, and my husband opens up the refrigerator and goes, "Oh God, what smells?"
Health. That's what smells, is health.
Oh God.
No, I mean, I try, and I cut back on alcohol and red meat and all of it, but I don't know. I want to just live my life and be happy and healthy, and I go to the gym almost every day, and
for someone that says she didn't remember much, you sure remember a lot.
Right.
Well, I was thinking, like, I didn't remember like what kind of chemotherapy I took. I'm like, I don't know.
No, I mean,
we don't need to know that.
No,
nobody does.
Right? Yeah. Ain't nobody got time for what size needle or this, not the other. No. They want to know, like, the ginger chews and like, what are the practicalities of this, right?
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, oh my goodness, this has been, thank you. Thank you so much for being willing to come on and share this journey with our listeners. This is not an easy thing to talk about. You probably don't like to talk about it, and it just means a lot that you would trust me enough to come on and give this story to our listeners, because I bet you're going to help a lot of people not feel so alone after this.
Well, I mean, we've known each other for so long, and even though we
crazy.
haven't seen each other, it's you're my sister.
Oh.
So.
I know that picture around the pool. I'm like, oh my God, these are my people. It's so amazing, And I also think it goes with the theme of the podcast. Like we always talk about this, right? Just at this point in our lives, community is so needed, but so difficult for women to do that, right? Like we always say, share, like, leave us a review, and sometimes I feel weird when I tell people to share, because it's like that implies that there are people out there that they're connected to that they want to share with. And I hope there are for all of us, but that's also part of it, is this feeling of we don't want people to feel alone. We want them to feel in community.
I love it.
Karen,
and I just want to go back to what you said in the beginning about the friend that you had that set up the letter writing campaign for you.
Amazing.
Like that, it just gives me chills talking about it even again. It gave me chills when you said it, and it gives me chills now. And I just think that is, when women have no problem showing up for each other. If something's going down, we are there. And I think that, that is testimony to that. And also, that's like Lisa said, that's our whole goal with this podcast, is for women to be there for each other, and for women to feel seen. And if a woman can take even just one thing from a podcast that we've done, like, then our work here is done. And so thank you so much for sharing your story, because I know, unfortunately, it's something that a lot of women can relate with. Even if they don't have it themselves, they for sure know a handful of women that have had it or will have it. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm so happy to be a part of this.
Well, we're thrilled. So listeners, my goodness, we would love to hear what you thought of this. This is going to be a series. So if you have questions or other things you'd like to have us address in the next part of the series, let us know. We want to thank our guest, Amy, for being on and sharing. And I don't think we got anything else. Join the Pod Squad, y'all. I know I'm like hammering that ad infinitum, but we want to be able to reach out to you, not in a spammy, icky, gross kind of way, just, again, to build this community. So join the Pod Squad. We would really appreciate that. You get all the show notes, you get the episodes directly in your inbox. There's stuff, right? It's good stuff. It's not just, icky. Anyways, I'm rambling.
Leave that 5-star review. Cheers.
Bye, guys. Cheers.